Well, hello, good morning everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back, and today I've got an interesting video for you. Today's video is going to be an offering from ThruNite. This is the headlamp. This is model TH30 in neutral white. I asked ThruNite if I could do a review on this. They said yes. They sent it out for me, so I want to say thank you to ThruNite for sending this out for review. I'm very excited about this. This thing is very bright. So here's a quick look at the packaging here. Very simple packaging. The ThruNite packaging is always really nice. They do a really good job putting these things together. I love the way they package these. So the first thing we see right here is a USB charging cable. Okay, so it's got USB 2, and then on the other side it's got a micro USB. This is the same port that I use for my cellular phone. And the cool thing about this charger is you can plug this into a solar panel, you can plug it into a wall outlet, a battery bank, things like that. You could charge it in your car. So that's a really cool option for this headlamp. The next thing we see when we open the package is the headlamp itself. I'll set that aside. We'll get to that in a second. And right here, just like the model TH10 version 2 video that I did, you can see here that it includes a belt clip. So this is a nice steel belt clip, very strong, very durable. So the reason this is included is so that if you want to take the light off of this rubber, you can, and then you can put the belt clip on and use it as a flashlight. So you could attach this to maybe the strap that comes across your chest from your backpack or something like that. Maybe you could put it on your belt and have it shining away from you, maybe at hip level or something like that. Now in here you can see this package has two O-rings, and it also has a rubber that protects the charging port on the headlamp. So that's pretty cool that they include that. Those O-rings are what give the headlamp the IPX8 waterproof rating. And right here you can see there's another replacement rubber. This is really cool. Very cool that they include another one of these. And these things are durable. They hold up very well. In fact, my old model TH10, the old one, the original, I still have the original rubber and it's still in great shape. Now here you can see the welcome card from ThruNite. Feel free to pause the video if you'd wish to read this card. Trying to hold it still for you. And this card is written in multiple languages. Bonjour. Go to the back. I think it's pretty cool. The packaging is very nice from ThruNite. So we'll set that aside. And the last but not least thing that's in the packaging is the owner's manual itself. So we are looking at several modes here. We have a Firefly mode of half a lumen, which will last over a month, 32 days. Then we have low, which is 25 lumens, lasts for 60 hours, that's over 2 days. And then we have medium low, 130 lumens for 14 hours. Then we have just medium, 352 lumens for 5 hours. Then we go up to the high setting of 1275 lumens, and that's going to last 90 minutes or an hour and a half. And then we go up to turbo. Now this print is very small. It's kind of difficult for me to read, but it looks like 3350 lumens for a minute and a half, and then it scales itself down to 1050 lumens for an additional 103 minutes. So that is a significant runtime at that high of a setting. This thing is a distance of throw is 155 meters, and the candela rating on this flashlight or this headlamp is 6550. That's pretty good. The impact resistance of this flashlight is 1.5 meters, and it's IPX8 down to 2 meters on this headlamp. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the rubber here. The rubber head strap is very standard across the board on a lot of these headlamps from multiple manufacturers. It's basically have a strap that goes on top of your head and then a strap that goes around your head. Very similar to the head straps that come on a variety of headlamps. So I'm not going to open that up too much. But let's take a look at this headlamp. Here's a first look here. You can see the cooling vents here because this thing probably gets warm. I mean, it cranks out a lot of lumens. Everything's knurled very positively. There is the power and mode switch all in one. And there's a look at the lens with the LED inside. And we have a nice knurled bottom here. This is not magnetic or anything like that. We can unscrew this and we can access the battery. But before we get to the battery, you can see that there's this little insulation card. They include those insulation cards with these flashlights and headlamps because they don't want continuity. They don't want this thing to be live and have the switch accidentally bumped in shipping or in your pack and come on and maybe start some heat or drain the battery or something like that. There's a closer look at the tail cap there. Very nice. And the O-rings that make up the IPX8 rating, there's one on this side, you can see that, and there's also one on this other side of the battery tube. Right there, see that? Now the question that always comes across a lot of people's mind is, can you reverse the battery tube? No, you cannot. But on this one it's not really needed to be able to do that because they've put a spot here as well as a spot here for the orientation of the belt clip. So you can put the belt clip as an option like this or an option like this. Okay, and I think personally I would probably put it like this so that I could put this thing, and it's really tight here, bear with me, I would probably use this orientation so that I could put this on my belt or have the light shining away from me, something like this, or maybe have it on my chest strap of my pack or something like that. And that's a very strong belt clip, a lot of retention there. It's going to be a little difficult getting it off, I think. So I'll just go ahead and leave it on. Let's take a closer look at this battery that's included with this headlamp. This is a high discharge performance lithium-ion rechargeable battery. Runs at 3100 milliamp hours. It's an IMR 18650 form factor, running at 3.6 volts or 11.16 watt hours. So this thing is very nice. This is a pretty good milliamp hour rating on this battery. You can see the positive side there as well as the negative side there. Now to charge the battery, what you would do is you would take the light and you would take this rubber here. I don't have any fingernails to get under there, but that would expose this port, this micro USB port, and you would plug this in, and then that's how you would charge the battery. The max charging current is 1.5 amp, and during charging the indicator is red, and after it's fully charged the indicator will be blue. When the indicator flashes purple, it means abnormal charging, and only low mode is available while charging. So you can turn this onto the low setting while charging. It also works as a low power indicator. It says when the power capacity is less than 10%, the main LED of the headlamp will blink 3 times and the side indicator on the switch will flash red. And then it says please replace the battery or charge the headlamp immediately. Now this is a beautiful light. Now to get to Firefly mode, what you would want to do is you would want to push and hold this button down. Okay, this gives you the lowest setting. Boy, that's nice. And then if you want to turn that off, you just push and let up and it turns the light off. And then if you want to turn it on just normal, you push and then you can see the blue indicator here. The blue indicator is telling you that the flashlight is on, and then to cycle through the modes you're just going to push and hold. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got low, medium low, medium, high, and SOS. Now from any setting, if you want to access turbo, you just double click and you get the full max output, which this thing is remarkably bright. Now if you look very close at the LED, it might be hard to tell. It looks like you have a square in the center of the lens there, and if you look really close at that, you'll see a little plus sign. Okay, so what that is this is actually 4 LEDs in one. Each one of those is an LED. It's kind of hard to tell. If I put it on moonlight mode, I might be able to see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's actually 4 LEDs. You can kind of see it there a second ago. If we look at the model TH10 version 2 and you look in the LED, you see there's just one LED inside. Look at the difference of size of the LED in comparison to the TH10. It's just crazy. And if you want to compare the lights against each other, they're very similar in size, but of course the TH30 has bigger cooling fins. Okay, but that's a look at the two. And I'm noticing that there's kind of an eggshell pattern of the lens. And then on the TH10 it's smooth. It's because the TH10 version 2 here, this one, is a thrower. They're both put together really nice. And if you want to look at, let's say for example, the WowTac model A2S, the LED in the center of that one is also very small, even in comparison to the TH10 here on the right. Look at the lens, it's a little bit larger as well in diameter or circumference. And then of course the TH30, sorry. So that's a look at the 3 headlamps. So here you have the WowTac model A2S. This is about $30. It's a good headlamp. You've got the TH10 version 2. This is around the $60 price point. And then you've got the TH30, the one that we're reviewing today. This is around the $70 price point. So you got 3 very nice quality headlamps. They all have the same kind of head gear here. They all come with a charging cable. They all come with the O-rings. This is the portion of the video that I always hate doing. I'm going to do the drop test, so let's turn the light on. Let me cycle through the modes here. Let's put it on high, and I'm going to drop this from waist level right onto concrete. 1. Let's drop it with the bottom down here. 2. Let's do it on the side. 3. The light stopped. Came back on. I think the battery tube was loose is what happened. So let's cycle through the modes and see what's going on. Looks like it's doing just fine. Let's do that drop again. I'm going to drop the power button down and see what happens. It might turn off because if it hits the power button. Okay, so it bounced. Let's cycle through. Right here against my hand, let's push the button down and cycle through. Let's try Firefly Mode. Looks good. So let's get that water. Let's do our dunk test. Here's my water. Let's turn this on. Completely underwater. See that? It's going underwater, clearly. I've got water in this bucket. So the light is definitely getting wet. Just in case you don't believe me. Look at that. Down in the water. Right? So let's pull this baby out. And let's take a look. Let's cycle through. This thing is just soaking wet. Let's go Firefly Mode. There we go. Let's go to on, and now let's cycle through. Let's go to turbo. Yes, that thing is bright. Look at that. Crazy. This light works very well. TH30 on moonlight mode or Firefly mode, and this is a good mode for looking in a bag. You can read some text. Everything is real easy, and it's enough light if you wanted to read a book or something like that, or just you know, you need a really long run time. It works good for things like that. So that's the Firefly mode. If I look off in the distance, you know, you can't quite see really what Firefly is doing. This is the light on low. You can see the blue indicator on the top there. And again, this is a neutral white light. And then if I cycle through by holding this down, that's low. That's medium low. There's medium. There's high. And let's double click for turbo. Turbo is very bright. I mean, you can see everything in the distance. So I'm going to compare these three headlamps. The one that I'm going to show first is the model A2S in cool white. Okay, so you can see it's on Firefly, and to the right, bottom of the right of the screen there, you can barely see the light reflecting off of my toolbox. Now if I turn the light on, there's low, medium, high, back to low. Let's kick on medium, high. This is the A2S. There's turbo. So that's what the A2S does. Okay, now I have model TH10 version 2, and if you look in the bottom right of your screen, you can see the light reflecting off of the toolbox. Let's go to low. That's low. Let's go to medium low. Pretty good. And let's go to medium. There's medium. And let's go to high. There's high. And let's check out the turbo function. This is turbo, model TH10, excuse me, version 2. And the red indicator, look at my battery, is starting to get low. That red indicator does the same thing on the TH30. So that's what it looks like on turbo. Now let's take a look at the TH30 in neutral white. I'm shining it on Firefly mode on directly on that toolbox, and I can't even see anything. Let's go to low. Medium low. Medium. And then high. There's turbo. It just lights up the whole area. And let's cycle through the modes one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turbo. So now let's go look at the A2S again. Let's look at its turbo. There's turbo on the A2S. Let's look at the TH10 version 2. Also, let's go to turbo. Kind of reminds me of the A2S almost. They're both kind of throwers. Now let's look at the TH30. Let's go to turbo. Just a big difference. I mean, it lights up everything. So let's take a quick look and let's see if there's anything damage-wise on this light. I can see a little bit of marks right there. You know, that drop test is always kind of hard on these things. Right there on the rim, a little bit of scratching and stuff, but nothing too bad. These lenses are made out of glass, so the lenses are really tough. These are just well put together lights. And I noticed right here on the knurling by my finger here, there's a little bit of damage there. But that's to be expected when you're dropping this thing on concrete. I really like this light, this TH30. I think this is going to be a very solid performer. I noticed when I had it on turbo mode that it got kind of warm to the touch. And that just kind of explains probably why they made these fins a little larger, so they can get some air to help dissipate that heat away. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Like this video, share this video, and as always, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Now, make sure you check that description box down below. I'll put a link to where you can find this headlamp, and have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now. I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video. I hope you got some... Stop.